Hey everyone, it's Dartron here, and today's video is going to be a bit different and a bit more serious. I know you guys are all used to just joking around here and playing some Digimobs or Attack of the B Team, which we are actually playing Attack of the B Team, so there's something. Just a bit of background footage of me mining that cave. But today what I want to talk about is something really serious, which is depression. I've personally suffered with depression my entire life, and the more I look at comments or go on people's Twitter pages that follow me and all sorts of stuff, I see more and more that depression is becoming a lot more common in the early teen years and stuff. And I'm not a doctor. I'm nowhere near qualified really to talk about this. All I can really talk about is what I've been through in my life and my personal experiences. So there's a lot of you that are going to hate this video, but hopefully it reaches the one or two of you that it might help. Depression, it's an ugly problem. It really is. It makes you feel like like you don't belong, like you're worthless, or the world is against you in some way. Where and trust me on this, guys. I know you people with depression are thinking, yeah, because that's what it is. But the world's really not against you. And if it is, trust me, it's against all of us. No one said life was going to be easy. There was no guarantee. But I'm sorry, it's really hard for me to talk about this because it is something I've been through myself, and just kind of drum up a lot of memories that I don't want to personally remember, but you got to, because stuff like that, the good and the bad both shape your life equally. And there's a lot of YouTubers and other people who do what I do, and of course you guys as well, that know this and have been through this. So, but let's cover some of the reasons for depression. I mean, there's divorce in the family, being bullied, which is the big one, and it was definitely one of the ones for me. And I do want to talk about bullying for a second, which I know a lot of you just kind of sit back and take it, and to a point I can understand that, but at the same time you've got to learn to stand up for yourself. Again, this is not me saying go out and hit somebody or anything like that. This is just purely how I have gotten through stuff. What you've got to remember a lot of the time is bullies themselves have probably been bullied. Maybe not at school, maybe at home. And they tend to take their frustration out on people smaller than themselves or someone who's different in some way. And if anything, you should feel sorry for them more than anything else. It could just be a fact that they're jealous of you, or they feel inadequate compared to you. Maybe you're smarter than them and they're failing school and stuff. There's loads of things that could be taken into consideration. Another one is appearance. A lot of people tend to look at themselves in the mirror and think, "Oh, I'm fat," or "I'm ugly." But to be honest, as much as you look in the mirror and you don't like what you see, there is someone out there that will look at you and say, "You're beautiful," or "You're handsome," or whatever. I wouldn't walk up to a guy and call him beautiful, but that's just me personally. I'm sorry if I'm going all the time. It's just hard to talk about this a lot of the time, and it's a very touchy subject. But yeah, so if just because you don't like what you see in the mirror doesn't mean that there's not people out there that do find you attractive or think you're good looking, or just the way you're made. Don't be sad about it. You are who you are, and there's nothing to be ashamed of, and there's nothing to be sad about when it comes to that. Another one that causes depression is people struggling with their sexuality. Maybe they're bi, or maybe they're gay, or it could be anything. And I knew someone growing up that was transgendered, which is they were born a boy or they were born a girl, and they changed throughout their life and all that. And sexuality and all that can be a big thing with depression. But again, it comes back to, you are who you are, and it's nothing to be ashamed of. One thing I do want you all that are suffering with depression to do is, a lot of people tend to bottle it up, and that only makes it worse throughout your life. What I want you guys to do is talk about it. Talk about it with your friends. Talk about it with your family. Or, to be honest, the best people you could talk about is go see a doctor, like a psychiatrist. Now, I know what you're thinking. I don't want to see a shrink. But these are people that are qualified to talk to you about your problems. There's, even if you don't have to go see a psychiatrist. You can go see like a counselor or something. There's loads of places set up throughout the world to help you talk about these situations, programs put in place. And I'm quite sure there's even like a couple that you can do online where you can talk to someone and stuff. I don't mean like in a chat room or anything like that, but actual things set up by like qualified people for you to talk about it. And I do recommend you talk about it, because getting it out there and admitting it to yourself and stuff is half the battle right there. But the main thing I do want to talk about is I see this a lot, which this is going to be the touchiest part of this video. And it's people that say like they're going to cut themselves, or they're going to commit suicide or something. And to you people, I'm not judging you. I personally have been there myself. And all I can say is you've got to give life a chance. Just because life has kind of thrown you a couple of curveballs, or you feel like it's not worth going on for, you're never going to know if you just end it. Life has a habit of throwing you another curveball. And like, the easiest way to talk about it is like to talk about how it was with me. When I was a kid, actively thought about doing stuff like that, and I'll be honest, like, my family stopped me. They got me help, and I'll be honest, the more life went on, the more I saw reasons to go on. Like, maybe it's a girl, maybe it's a boy, maybe it's a hobby, maybe it's a love of something. And I know a lot of you are probably going to say like, well, I don't love anything and nothing loves me, but I'm not going to argue with you, because you're just going to argue back. But how do you know there's not going to be something down the road? How do you know, like, just around the corner, maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day, you're going to meet someone or see something or do something that fills that part of your life that you're missing? And that's pretty much the video, guys, because I'll be honest, it is getting increasingly hard for me to talk about this, but not because of it being depression. It's a part of me that I've put behind me now, because I got through it. I'll admit there's days I'm not too happy, but there's other days where I am happy, and every day I remind myself of the stuff that I've got going for me. I've got family that love me. I've got friends that care. And I love my heart. I love doing YouTube. That's one of the things. I've got Haley now, who I absolutely love beyond belief. And just because you don't have something at the moment, but I'm sure you do, whether you realize it or not. Like, maybe you think your family don't care, but maybe they just have a different way of showing it than normal people. Or I say normal people, but everyone shows love and affection in different ways. Like, look at my brother, for instance. If you saw me and him together, you would think, God damn, those two hate each other. But we don't. We do care about each other. We're brothers. But we have a different way of showing it than, like, two other siblings or something. But anyway, as I said, I'm going to put a stop to this video. But all this video was mainly for was I want you guys to, I want you guys to go out and talk about it. I want you guys to remember that, there are reasons to keep going on and stuff. And I'm sorry that this video was so serious today, but it's something I definitely feel that I needed to address, because being on YouTube and stuff like that and having the reach to people, like, admittedly this channel has like 50,000 subscribers. Maybe not all of them watch the channel, but maybe this video reaches one person that's going through this, and maybe I've managed to help in some way. Maybe I haven't, but maybe, just maybe, I've helped that one person at least think about stuff. And that's all I ask. So, and also to you guys that watch through this video that don't suffer with depression, be understanding about it. Now, I understand that it can be a bit of a pain sometimes when you have to listen to someone go on about it, but maybe they need to talk about it. Maybe you're the person they trust to talk about it to. So please just be understanding. And to those people who are suffering with depression, please talk about it with someone. I do recommend your parents or a trained professional, but your friends will do as well. Just hang in there. Things do get better.